Hi, this is Milu. Today I am going to touch with Trump and a few people around him, and just to see what I get. Since we already know what type of person Trump is, someone asked me once to do a reading on Stephen Miller. I feel Stephen Miller feels like he's superior or better than some people. If you are a minority, he feels like he's better than you, he's above you, and you should serve him. And I feel Stephen Miller is an angry guy. He's very selfish and self-centered. I don't believe he has too many friends, even in the White House, because he is a bit quirky, and it feels like to me Stephen is the annoying type because he's always looking for attention and tend to be a bit clingy as well. That's what I feel when I touch with Stephen Miller. And yes, he's a good worker and he's very good at creating division, just like Trump. And he has no sympathy for anyone who's different from him. I feel even at home, I feel he had issues with his mom. It feels like to me his father is more tolerant. I don't know if that's why he's behaving the way he's behaving. I hear they are very well educated people. I am not quite sure what happened to Stephen. Well, he went to college, he's a college grad, and he seems like he's very smart. But his lack of compassion for others and the way he treats those that he feels are beneath him. I feel some people in the White House as well are not exempt. Minorities in the White House. It feels like to me, if he doesn't have to deal with you, he will not deal with you. And if you are not at the same level as he is, or one of Trump's relatives, he really has no time for you. That's the way I am when I touch with Stephen Miller. That's what I feel. But I have news for him though. Once this administration is over, I feel Miller is going to get himself in some type of trouble. Because yes, he's probably going to work for one of those conservative politicians. He's already planning on that. And he already is unsure of or how long this administration is going to last, because he's not dumb. But one thing I feel, sometime in the future, after this administration is over, I would not be surprised if Stephen Miller finds himself in some kind of conflict where the police is going to be called or involved. Stephen Miller doesn't have a girlfriend, I don't believe. I mean, he probably has meet girls, but they don't last. And that is because of his personality, and that drives his rage. And him losing hair really makes him unhappy and have a confidence issue. But that's what I am getting about Stephen Miller. He's not a nice guy, obviously, as we've noticed in the media. The next person I would like to touch with is the assistant Attorney General Rosenstein, this guy is a professional. Yes, he's a Republican, but when I talk with him, he feels like he's American first, then a Republican second. If Trump thinks he's gonna play, or if Trump thinks he's going to be able to play with Rosenstein's mind, he's mistaken. Rosenstein is not gonna break the law because of Trump. Because he almost found himself in trouble by writing the letter about Comey, although he feels he did the right thing, but that was the last time in his mind that Trump is going to manipulate him to do anything or to help him in any way, because he does not trust Trump. He does not think that Trump is a good person. And it feels like to me when he meets with Trump, he keeps it short, to the point, and he leaves. He also knows that he doesn't fit in the Trump clique, so to speak, because he has a very strong personality, and he's a very, he's dedicated to his profession, and he's not going to compromise himself in any way. He has very strong ethics. So Rosenstein would rather quit before he breaks the law, because he's not thinking about only today. When I talk with him, it feels like to me he's thinking years down the road, how his behavior today can affect him in the future. That's what I get when I talk with him. And I feel the Attorney General Sessions has gained a lot of confidence when it comes to dealing with Trump. And it feels like there is a team in the Justice Department. It seems like they have a support team. The top people, they support each other, they talk to each other, and they are not going to let Trump manipulate them. And I heard at the beginning of this week or last week, week of April 15th, or this week, which was about April 20th or 22nd, that Sessions suggested that if they fire Rosenstein, he was going to leave, or would be thinking of leaving. I feel Sessions will leave if Rosenstein is to be fired. But to be honest, I see all these reporters, they stuck on that. When are you going to fire Mueller? Will you fire Mueller? Will you fire Rosenstein? Trump would like to, but it feels like to me he's afraid. He would have done it. If he knew he could get away with it, he would. But both Rosenstein and Sessions are thinking behind the scene and planning how to outsmart Trump. And I feel they will win. Trump will go before they go. And when it comes to Mueller, I don't see how Trump, he doesn't have, right now he knows he's on shaky ground. The only ace he has is to keep his supporters in line. But he's fully aware that he's not liked. The other thing that's keeping Trump from pulling the trigger on doing anything wrong, like firing Rosenstein, firing Mueller, or do something at the FBI, he knows that the public may react. That's the other thing that's keeping him in check as well. And right now, he's too terrified. There is too much going on. Trump is going through the motion of doing what the president is supposed to do. But his staff, people in the White House, people at the Pentagon, people in the Justice Department, are running the administration. Trump is just a puppet and he's raging in the White House. Trump has lost it. Ever since they raided his attorney's places, going, he doesn't feel very secure. Trump thought that he was going to be like a king. He thought anything he said, or like when he used to sell real estate, because he was in charge, he had money, some of those buyers were afraid or did not want to go to court with him. They let him go, they let him win. He's not used to people holding him accountable. So this is new to him and he does not like it. To sum this up, Trump is too paranoid to fire Mueller. Otherwise, he would have done it already. Right now, I don't think so. And I think, the people in the media are not asking, the people in his administration hard enough questions. Right now, I feel like touching with Ryan, the majority leader in the House. Ryan is a self-centered guy too, and he's an opportunist. He doesn't care if it's not affecting him or his family. He has a way of removing himself from the situation and can be pretty cold about it. And since Trump cannot affect him, now he's not running for re-election anyway, so he doesn't care. He's just going to, continue until his last day. He's not going to do anything. These guys, him and McConnell, no. There would have to be, people would have to take to the streets before those two guys do anything. Because Ryan is doing very well. Those black SUVs and bodyguards that he has, that's a nice life. He's not going to rock the boat. Now he's leaving, he's going to make millions. And McConnell, he's another selfish individual as well. His wife works for the administration. He's not going to do anything to compromise his wife's job in the administration. McConnell loves money, and it feels like to me he's a pretty cheap guy. Every penny counts for him. When I touch with him, that's what I get. Okay? He counts every penny. And he's thinking of when the time comes for him to leave the Senate, he wants a pretty nice, not only retirement from the government, but he wants to have as much money saved as he possibly can, even if he cannot spend it all. Because it feels like to me he has a lot of money. That's one thing, besides being a crazy partisan, it doesn't matter. Right now, these people, they're not worried about America. They are only worried about power. Self-preservation, unless Trump attacks them directly, they are not going to do anything. Trump will sink himself because there's going to be so much coming out in the coming months. He won't have a choice but leave, because it's going to be, it's already embarrassing. It's going to get worse. And Stormy and Avenatti are not going to let go. When it comes to Giuliani, we all know Giuliani loves to be in charge. He likes to be the point guy, but I don't feel Giuliani is going to be able to help Trump. If anything, Giuliani is going to make this worse for Trump, because he's going to go and talking to Mueller, and like they've known each other like old buddies. Mueller does not care. Mueller was in the military. Mueller fought for this country. Mueller did not spill blood for this country to allow people like Giuliani to tell him anything, or how to do his job, or how he should talk to the president, or when to talk to the president. And there is something that keeps coming to mind. I would not be surprised if Giuliani doesn't try to find a way out for Trump. This is a crazy thing that comes to mind every time I think of Giuliani going to negotiate with Mueller. I wouldn't be surprised if that's not one of the items that he's going to discuss with Mueller, Trump's exit, because Mueller is not going to tell Giuliani everything he has on Trump, but he's going to tell Giuliani enough to let Giuliani know and how much trouble Trump is, some of his misdeeds, and Giuliani is going to get the message. And for some reason, I don't feel Giuliani is going to be in this negotiation for long. He said 2 weeks. I'm going to go for a month. It's going to get frustrating for him. He's going to realize no one can save Trump based on what Mueller, the little bit Mueller is going to share with him. So, 2 things I feel like he's going to try to do. Try to negotiate for Trump talking to Mueller. And the other item is, if things don't work out, find a way out for Trump. That's what I feel is going to happen. Well, at least those 2 items, I hope we find out. But every time I see him on TV, I got that feeling that something is up. And him trying to negotiate and provide Trump an exit ramp is part of the game. But other than that, Giuliani is over his head. I know he's a lawyer. I know I don't think Giuliani is still, I don't feel his reputation is still intact. And if you ask me, when I touch with Giuliani and the people with Mueller, they don't have much respect for Giuliani, because, yes, they are all Republicans, but this has nothing to do with party. This has to do with America. And Giuliani was going on Fox making statements about Hillary's, he knew things were coming down that no one else knew, and then Hillary's emails were just dumped out there. So these guys, Giuliani and their eyes, is not looking very good. So I would not be surprised if Giuliani as well is not part of this investigation. I would not be surprised if Giuliani become a witness. I don't feel Giuliani is going to be very successful, or well, at least not as successful as stopping this investigation. It's not going to happen. From an intuitive point of view, I don't see how Giuliani is going to stop this. And Mueller, when it comes to these to the law, when I talk with him, he does not cut corners, and he's going to come at you. And his military background give him the discipline to stay focused, and he feels in some ways that's his duty to do what he's doing. Not only because they hired him to do it, he does not like the fact that the Russians try to influence the election. I feel Mueller is going to do his job to the end. I would be surprised if anything happened. If they fire him. I don't think so. I don't see it. Trump is too paranoid now. We thought he was paranoid before. Now he's really paranoid. The other thing I would like to touch on, and I've been getting this. I did a video where I mentioned that I did not see a war with North Korea. I don't feel North Korea ever wanted a war. They just want to threaten people. Hopefully you will acquiesce to their demands. That's the way North Korea, when I touch with Kim Jong-un, that's the way I get him. The only way, and I'm not seeing a war, the only way we would get in any type of conflict with North Korea is if Trump, to cover up his misdeeds, starts a war. That's the only way. Other than that, I don't see North Korea starting anything. The other thing is, I don't feel Trump is going to do a good job when he meets with Kim Jong-un. These people, they have a very good psychological profile of Trump. Then, just like Macron was here and played him like a fiddle and went in front of Congress today and without mentioning his name, blasted him. Kim Jong-un is going to steal Trump's cheese. Unfortunately, it's our cheese. I don't see a successful outcome for Trump in that meeting. Yes, they can always cover it up and say, yes, he did, well and blah, blah, blah. But I don't see this. I don't see how it's going to happen. The reason why Kim Jong-un is meeting with Trump, his country, like I said in another video I posted, I don't recall exactly, about it over a month ago, that he does not want his country destroyed. He needs money. He is tired of being in the restrictive position that he's in. He's a young guy. I believe he's in his 30s. He wants beautiful cars too. He wants a lot of beautiful things because he knows what's available. He wants those things. That's why he wants to communicate with the South, talk to America, try to find a middle ground somewhere where where he can start bringing money into his country, because the sanctions are hurting him as well. And he knows that Trump is not very bright. Trump is looking out for Trump. His name, he wants to increase his business and his family to become one of the most powerful families in the country. And if you watch how they behave, they want to be like the Kennedys. Unfortunately, they are not that bright. They are never going to be like the Kennedys, nor like the Bushes. He lacks class. This is all I have for today. If you like my video, please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Till next time.